What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're gonna take a look at the all-new 2021 BMW M4 Competition. Huge shout out and thank you to Hendrick BMW of Charlotte for providing this new M4 for today's video. Check out the link to their website in the description below. They're getting in a huge selection of the 2021 M cars, so definitely check them out. And the model that we're looking at today is finished off in Isle of Man green, has the executive package and an MSRP at $83,000. Underneath the hood, the M4 Competition utilizes a 3-liter M-Power turbocharged inline 6-cylinder engine that cranks out 503 horsepower and 479 pound-feet of torque. The engine is paired to the 8-speed M Steptronic automatic transmission and sends the power to the rear wheels through the M Sport differential. And with a curb weight around 3,800 pounds, you can expect 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds and a top speed at 155 miles an hour. And then once you remove the limiter, it comes up to 180 miles an hour. And then running off a 15.6 gallon fuel tank, you can expect 16 miles per gallon in the city and 23 out on the highway. The overall length is 189.1 inches with a wheelbase at 112.5. The height is 54.8 with the width at 74.3 inches. And then being the M4, this features a set of ventilated and drilled rotors in all 4 corners, measuring 15 inches up front with a 6-piston brake caliper and 14.5 inch rotors in the back with a floating caliper. Taking a look at the all-new design with this 2021 BMW M4. This features BMW's laser headlights that have LED daytime running lights in them. You can also see the blue accents and the blacked out housings. They have a nice modern design that flow very well to this new front end. This has a brand new kidney-shaped grille that is much more vertical than before. It spans from the lower portion of the bumper all the way up to the hood and features several horizontal gloss black slots. You can see a forward-facing camera right in the center with the M4 Competition logo over on the right side. There's also 6 parking sensors within the front bumper and a safety sensor right in the center of this grille. There's 2 more huge openings to allow maximum cooling to the front brake ducts as well as the engine radiators, and then you can see the lower chin spoiler protruding forward to give it an aggressive design. There's also a lot of really sharp body lines in this front bumper, and you can see gloss black wing pieces sticking out in the farthest points of the bumper, as well as a functional vent to allow air to enter the bumper and pass through out around the front tires. You can also see the BMW logo right in the center, and the grille even flows right into the hood. There's more aggressive body lines in the center of the hood that fade away towards the windshield, and you can see how the whole front end ties together very well to give the new M4 a much more modern appearance, and the hood and the bumper even flows to these front fenders with a very wide bulge in them just to give it that extra touch of style. And then moving to the side profile, this M4 has the optional set of staggered wheels. They're 19s up front and 20s in the rear. They're finished off in a gloss black multi-spoke design that have a really nice concavity to them, and they're wrapped in a Pirelli P0 tire. You can see the red brake calipers really stand out against the green and the gloss black. And then moving down the side, you can see a trim piece on the front fender with M4 Competition and a really sharp line going right from it through the side doors, and then another line leading down to the lower portion of these doors. You can see a lot of clean lines going through the whole side profile of the M4 and a nice round bulge on the rear fender arch to also give it a wider appearance in back. And then we get a gloss black side skirt down below, and then a set of body color door handles and gloss black mirror caps with an integrated LED turn signal as well as a side view camera. There's more gloss black trim around the side windows to continue with this blacked out design. And then moving to the roof, this has a carbon fiber roof skin with some contours in the center, and it really cleans it up to make it look super performance oriented. And then the whole side profile has fantastic proportions all around with a nice sporty look. And then as we make our way to the rear end of the new M4, you can see these LED taillights finished with a 2-tone. You can see the red as well as the smoked out housings. There's also a gloss black lip spoiler on the trunk with M4 Competition in black over on the right side. We get the backup camera right in the BMW logo, and then more clean lines going all around this rear bumper. It really gives it a wider appearance and it protrudes backwards. We also get more gloss black trim in the lower diffuser with aggressive fins right in the center, and then finishing it up with the dual quad tip exhaust finished off in black. So there's a good look at the exterior and some of the performance specs on the all-new 2021 M4 Competition. Comment down below, what do you guys think of Isle of Man green? I think it looks absolutely stunning in today's sunlight. This is a really good looking car. So we now have BMW's key fob, we got some aluminum and the M colors. Tapping the BMW logo, we can go ahead and lock the car. and then just keeping the key fob in my pocket, all I have to do is grab the door handle, automatically unlocks, and we can check out the interior. This particular spec is finished off with a black leather interior, and you'll see carbon fiber trim all around. If we go ahead and take a look at the door panel now, we can see black leather in the center with contrast stitching, more of the leather and stitching along the armrest with some nice padding. We got your grab handle as well, both of your window controls and mirror controls, and then memory seating. Then we have your release handle up top with lock and unlock. And then moving our way inside, we have M4 Competition along the door sill. All the power controls for the seat are right on this left side. Then you can see the smooth black leather, more contrast stitching, and even grabbing the front lever, we can pull this up for an added leg rest. We have perforated leather all in the centers of these seats with more stitching. And then the perforated leather moves its way all the way up the backs with more of the stitching. You can see the nice aggressive bolsters. You can also see some Alcantara trim in the top portions of these seats, as well as an illuminated M4 logo. And then even taking a quick look at these seatbelts, you have the M colors in them. And then spinning around to the steering wheel wrapped in smooth black leather with carbon fiber accents and M stitching. And then now inside the M4 Competition, keeping my foot on the brake, we can go ahead and fire it up. The M4 utilizes a full digital display. You can see the tach over on the right with engine temperature, and then your speedometer over on the left with your fuel level. Right in the center, we also have more information that comes up over on the right side, just tapping the BC button on the left stalk. It goes through many different items. You can see the PSI for the tires, as well as more temperatures and PSI for the turbo. You have your torque and horsepower gauge, and then a G meter will come up. Radio can come up as well, all your different driving modes, and then navigation, and then your gear can also be there as well. On the left side, we have all of your cruise control settings with lane keeping assist, and then over on the right, we have some of the Bluetooth and audio controls. You can see behind the steering wheel, we have carbon fiber shift paddles. They have a really nice look, and they are quite large. They have red padding on the backside, and then you can even see the red cutouts for the plus and minus. We also have your two M modes right in the center of the steering wheel. You can toggle these and configure how you would like customized setting. So if I just press this once and then press it again, it puts the car into a performance driving mode. I like how you can configure everything. And then along with that, over on the center right here, if we press the M mode button right now, it actually changes the entire gauge cluster to a much more performance oriented one. You can see the tach come up, and then if I tap that again, it goes back. On the left side of the steering wheel, all your headlight controls. You can also see some ambient lighting above that. We have one of the air vents. Heads-up display is right in the center of the dash. Then we have black going all the way across. And then on this right side, we can see more carbon fiber and the silver accents. And then moving to the infotainment screen right now, this is touchscreen. You can see how we have a configurable menu right now. You can swipe over and see a few items within the car, how everything is running. And then some more vitals come up on this right side. We can tap through and go to your media, back to home. You can go into your communication for your phone and all of that. We have your navigation screen that comes up. Really nice HD display. You can see how everything is laid out. And then going back to the home screen, we also have a car button right here. Comes up with a lot of the different settings within the vehicle. You can even swipe up and go into your M menu, and you can see how you can configure everything, your instrument panel, and everything like that. Then we have apps as well, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. Then if we go ahead and take the vehicle and put it into reverse, it's a little bit different shift pattern than normal BMWs, just like the older M cars. We have a full top-down view over on the right, and then your backup camera on the left. You can also notice that the car is actually shown in the exact color that your spec is. I've noticed that on these new M cars. Then if I go ahead and pull the screen over and do the 3D view, you can see the full 3D view of the car right now, and by just tapping these different icons, you can get a good view. Really nice in HD how everything is laid out. Then if I go ahead and put the car back into the central position, and then tap the P for park. And then underneath the screen, we have two more air vents as well as your hazards. Tapping this icon right here, it comes up on the screen with all of your different safety settings. Going into configure, you can see how everything is for steering intervention, side collision, lane departure. You can configure how you would like everything to be. We also have a nice LCD screen for your climate controls. You have your fan speed right in the center, and then this is dual zone. You can easily toggle these up and down. And then we have your different zones as well. You can easily configure, and then more modes as well as the heated and ventilated seats. Just by tapping this, it comes up on the screen as well, so you can do your ventilation or go into the heater or just turn everything off. And then below all that, we have some radio controls as well, your volume and on and off button. This part right here opens up and reveals some wireless charging, as well as 2 cup holders and USBs. And then behind all that, you can see more of the carbon. We have leather and stitching along the shifter, as well as an icon to adjust how quickly you would like the car to shift. We have traction control, a shortcut right here that comes up to your camera. We have parking sensors, the engine start stop feature, the M mode button like you saw, and then a setup icon right here that goes into all the drive modes. You can easily change everything going into Sport Plus and things. The engine already idles a little bit louder once we're in the sport mode, and then going back to efficiency for everything. Way quieter now, and I'm excited to drive it and see what it's like. We have the electronic park and brake, a nice M4 logo. And then this whole panel right here is another way to control the screen. We have a rotary dial you can spin. You can also bump it left and right on it. We have shortcut keys as well. If I tap this map icon right now, it comes up with the map, and then tapping home, we're at the home screen, and I can easily scroll through everything and then hit another icon for media. You can see how everything looks. Below all that, we have more black leather and stitching. And then opening this up, you can see we have quite a lot of space for the center console with an LED light as well as a USB, then locking that down into place. Then the glove box in the M4 has a pretty good amount of space, as you can see. And then closing that out to take one last look at the interior with the 2021 M4. This is a really cool spec, especially with all the carbon fiber and leather. Beautiful design everywhere, nice and clean. We have a black headliner as well, then LED dome lights on the top with a frameless mirror. We also get back seats in the M4. If I go ahead and just grab this handle on the side of the seat will lock forward and then automatically slide out of the way. We have a nice entry point for your feet. Then you can take a look at these rear seats. They're finished off in the same black leather and perforated leather. You even get the same seat belts with the M colors. We do have some air vents in the front with all of your climate controls and 2 USBs. All right, so we are hopping into the back seat now of the M4. Going ahead and pulling the seat back, it'll automatically slide back into the position that it was at. So sitting here now, I actually do have about an inch of headroom, so it's not too bad. I'm 5'11". I have the seat set to my height. I have a little bit of knee room and foot room as well. And then a nice little armrest over here with some storage and your speaker, and you even get leather along the side. The window's pretty large, so it really doesn't feel too cramped for a smaller car. And then even taking a look at the center, we can open this up and use this as a nice armrest. And we also have extra access to the trunk space. And then by just grabbing this handle again, we can get the seat out of the way and it'll slide forward for better access. And then taking a look at the trunk space, you can use the button on the door, the one on the rear of the trunk, or just tap the button on the key fob. It opens right up. This is a power tailgate. You can see we have quite a lot of space in the back of an M4. It's nice and squared off. We have a little bit of a storage net on the left and then the right side. And then up top now, we can pull these levers. It'll unlock the rear seats. And you can see just how much more storage we have in the back of this M4 leading its way into the interior. Coming through this side now, you can see the seats fold down nice and flat, and we have a really large opening into the trunk. So for a two-door coupe like this, the M4 is super practical. All right guys, so we are setting off now in the 2021 M4 Competition. First and foremost, this spec is so nice in person. I absolutely love the green. I've never been a green fan, but this car just works so well. And then the new front end design looks so good in person. You really got to give it a chance and see these M cars in person to appreciate it. But I am already a huge fan of the spec, the carbon fiber, everything. Oh my gosh, I am loving this car. So we are in efficiency mode right now, the most conservative driving mode. I've already driven a normal M3. This car already feels just a little bit more stiff, but getting comfortable in these seats, you have all the power adjustments and the leg rests and everything like that. It still is a nice, comfortable car to be in. Suspension's absorbing the bumps nicely. The armrests are really good. These seats feel really good. You have lumbar support, all sorts of good things. You have the nice bolsters, automatic headrest. You can adjust them by just pressing the button back here. But sitting in the car now, getting my bearings with it, we have a really good view out of the front, nice large windshield. The mirrors are pretty large as well, so I can easily see around. And then looking over my right and left shoulder, really no blind spots, honestly. It's pretty easy to see around. And then using the interior, very simple, just like all the BMWs. I find them very user-friendly. We can adjust the different driving modes by going over into the sport mode and putting us into manual, and then adjusting this to make it shift a little bit quicker or a little bit slower. And then if I go ahead and toggle M2 and tap it again, it puts everything into the most performance driving mode. So everything is in Sport Plus, traction control is in the performance setting as well. And manual, like I said, exhaust valve is on. So we have a lot of power in this car, an 8-speed automatic. Let's feel it out a little bit. Oh my gosh. Wow, that was 4,000 RPM and that just, Wow, this thing's got some meat to it. And these paddles feel so good. I'm sure you can see the red on the back. It's kind of got like a rubber texture to it. And then the carbon fiber. Finally, a car manufacturer putting in awesome looking paddle shifters. I'm so sick of those little rinky-dink buttons. This is so nice how BMW did this for the automatic. Of course, you can get this car in a manual transmission if you want. It won't be the Competition, so it'll be slightly detuned. But the fact that BMW offers an awesome automatic and the stick shift is fantastic. But driving in this car now, wow, there is so much low end torque to this engine, just barely touching the gas, and it seems super responsive. The ZF8 speed, you tap the paddle, it does what it needs to do. Wow, I can even just hear the turbo slightly. And then if I go ahead and press the M mode, we get this awesome gauge cluster that comes up. This is great for the track. I can see my gear right in the center, so I easily know exactly what I'm doing, the speed, and then the huge tack lines as well. And then in this mode, my heads-up display has a huge tachometer on it as well. I can't imagine how good this would be out on the track. With my peripheral, I can easily see that tack in the heads-up display, so this is going to be awesome out on the racetrack. So even in this mode right now, everything really tightens up. You can feel the suspension, the steering is a lot heavier. If I go out of the M mode, you can see everything goes back to normal. Steering now is like a feather, super comfortable, and I still got the cool M mode screen, which is nice that you can mix and match really every which way. You can configure everything from suspension, transmission, the braking, and everything even, to really fine-tune how you would like this car to drive. So I like how BMW made the M4 so configurable. It can go all the way toned down to a daily driver, roomy back seats, and a nice sized trunk to where this is actually a usable daily driver car. I would have no issues using this from day to day. But then by even just pressing the one button, confirming, everything's into the most performance oriented mode, exhaust valve is on, and all of a sudden, we're in a nice performance M car, and that is awesome that BMW has made this car the way it is. As far as the actual interior road noise and things like that, it's a quiet and tame car to where it still feels nice and insulated, and it feels like a high quality car, which is what it should be. And so we got some sharp turns, we'll feel out the handling a little bit. Already the car just feels so responsive, but taking some twisties, getting onto the highway real quick. Don't feel any weight transfer. It is super solid around that. That was like 45 miles an hour, pretty sharp turn. Man, I love the paddles. The car definitely seems nice and responsive taking the turns. No flex or anything like that. And then if we get up to speed just a little bit, goodness, that is just so quick for the gear change. Let's see if we hear any exhaust sounds under this little bridge. Bone stock, and this is 4,000 RPM, like nothing crazy. I am honestly a huge fan of the new M cars. I think they just feel so solid compared to even the previous generation, which was a great car. But just driving it, it feels like a nice high quality car, so solid feeling. And then I love how it can go all the way tamed down into just a normal automatic comfortable car, valve off. And now we're back into a luxury BMW. We can go back to the normal screen. I mean, we have all these safety, the blind spot alert, forward collision, the radar cruise control, so many technology features in this car, and then the top-down view camera, so it's easy to maneuver around a parking lot. It's a car that I think can really do a lot all in one car, and the fact that you can get a manual if you'd like, you can get a four-door if you'd like, going for an M3. So I really think you can fine-tune the new M3 and M4 and really piece it together and get the car that you want. But I think that is then it for the 2021 M4 Competition. I'm impressed. This is a nice car to drive. Huge shout out and thank you once again to Hendrick BMW of Charlotte. They're providing this M4 for today's video, so definitely check out the link to their website in the description below. They have a huge selection of all the brand new 2021 BMWs, so definitely check them out. And if you enjoyed today's video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next video.